Oil, the lifeblood of modern civilization. For generations, oil spills have ripped through ecosystems, leaving devastation in their wake. Take Nigeria's Niger Delta, a region that has been drowning in over 30 million barrels of spilled oil since the 1950s. The soil is barren, the water undrinkable, the air thick with toxins. But this isn't just an environmental tragedy. It's a daily battle for survival for the people who call this place home. Gas flaring, the wasteful burning of natural gas during extraction, is another dark consequence. It spills toxic chemicals into the air. In Nigeria alone, the amount of greenhouse gases released from gas flaring exceeds that of the entire sub-Saharan Africa combined. Oil was meant to be a catalyst for prosperity, and a beacon of hope has deepened the chasm of poverty. The wealth extracted from the land rarely trickles down to the people who need it most. Oil has ignited a dangerous cycle of violence, driven to desperation by the lack of opportunities and injustice of environmental destruction.
Farming and fishing is the staple occupation of the community woman or the community man. But today, what do we have? Because of the polluted environment, their livelihoods have been destroyed. Why? Because the farmlands that were preserved for cultural purposes has now been destroyed. And so even when we as farmers, we go and plant our products, we end up not yielding anything. In the rivers, we can't even get fishes because due to gas flare, especially in my community, Giligili, due to gas flare, the fish has been extinct. So sometimes we just need to go deeper and deeper, which is dangerous for the woman because she can be exposed to rape, she can be exposed to any kind of gender-based violence, in the community, going to the deeper oceans.
In Kedere community, we have about 56 oil wells. And in this community, we have not benefited from any of this oil well. The pollution that we have gotten have caused a lot of hazard in Kedere community. Many places have been having oil spillage, of which we cannot plant our crop well. If we plant, you use fertilizer, and even as that, our crop is not yielding as before. So this makes us to have lack of production.
I'm a fisherwoman too. Even yesterday, I went to the river. At first, when we were small, back in the early 80s, that is what our mothers used to train us, even from primary school to secondary school. There is an oil company that is operating there. At first, it was Philip Oil Company that was there. They call it Philip 66 because they came to Giligili community 1966, as I was told, because I was not born there then. So later, 1989, Dubri Oil Company took over. And since then, we have been suffering. To my greatest surprise, we cannot even get our crayfish the way we used to get it before. Our periwinkle, our crabs, we cannot get them the way we used to get them before. Even our water snake. Even that of the periwinkle, as I'm talking to you now, hardly you cannot even see periwinkle because before, when the water gets dry, that is low tide. You go to the corner of the river, you will pack periwinkle. The one that you know that you can consume. You pack, and even if you want to sell, you can sell. That of the crab too, and that of the crayfish, even the fishes. Would you believe that as of yesterday, I brought one crab from my cage. My children were happy. I caught one from the camp. My children were happy for seeing just two crab. And before it was not like that. But look at what gas flare have caused for us. It pollutes air, causing different type of sickness. The carbon that is the gas is emitting there is causing so many sickness for us.
Amidst the despair, there's a flicker of hope. The people refuse to be silent. Activists, environmentalists, and community leaders are rising, demanding an end to the pollution and calling for those responsible to be held accountable. Their voices are strong, but the path to justice is fraught with peril.
The regulatory framework is weak. The regulatory agencies of government are very weak. For instance, if there is an OSP now by Shell, for instance, NOSRA does not have anything to take them there. They will wait for chopper from the same polluter to come and carry them and take them there. They will wait for logistics from the polluter. But they are supposed to be an independent regulatory agency of government that should just, as soon as they hear that happens, they just fly in. It is when you do that that the polluter will know that the government is serious, and most of the routine inspection that they are supposed to be doing, they will do them. So we are trying our best. We cannot do what the regulatory agencies are supposed to do. Our own is to do the campaign, to create the awareness, which we are doing. But we don't have the capacity to go and clean up or to go and arrest the oil company officials that are defaulted. There are government agencies that are paid to do that. They are not doing it.
Too often, governments have become complicit, siding with powerful oil giants, shielding them from accountability. Laws are ignored, fines are reduced to mere slaps on the wrist, and those who speak out are silenced. A new and alarming trend is now emerging as oil giants like Shell and Agip begin to divest their holdings. They are leaving behind a legacy of pollution and broken promises. They are abandoning contaminated lands and devastated communities, often without cleaning up their mess or offering fair compensation to those they've harmed. The question now is, how do we stop them from simply walking away from their responsibilities?
Divestment is not even the solution to climate change nor to climate justice, but accountability and taking responsibilities of whatever the IOCs have done in the environment is what can bring professed solution to our farmers and our livelihood.
Well, I would advise countries who are beginning to think that oil means development to them to have a rethink. Countries who are beginning to think that oil is going to boost their economy to have a rethink, because a clear example of what oil can do to you is what is happening in the Niger Delta. Because of oil, Nigeria has lost lots of lives. Because of oil, someone like Ken Saruwa was murdered and his kinsmen. Because of oil, the Niger Delta has no clean air to breathe. Because of oil, the Niger Delta has no arable land to farm. Because of oil, our waters are being polluted on a daily basis. Because of oil, there is no human rights respect for human rights abuses in the Niger Delta. Because of oil, the livelihoods in the Niger Delta is gone. Because of oil, Nigeria's economy is weak because they are totally dependent on fossil fuel, and based on that, they are not thinking outside the box. So for countries who are thinking that oil will bring about developments to them, I would advise them to look at the Niger Delta and describe the type of development that is in the Niger Delta and know if that's exactly what they want for themselves. In Ghana, some years ago, Ghana has a robust fish industry that can give them over $1 billion per annum. But because they decided to venture into oil, because the oil companies have told them that oil is going to bring about development, they're going to have good standard of living and all of that, they decided to venture into oil and reduce their concentration on the fisheries departments, the tilapia fishery department. And the first 1 or 2 years, a miserable $600 million was what they were able to get, as compared to a booming $1 billion plus just from fish. So it's very evident that if we develop our source of alternative source of income for the country, we rely more on agriculture rather than oil, the country will be better off, because there will be no pollution, there will be clean air for people to breathe in, there will be no polluted streams, there will be more fishes for people to sell, there will be more arable farmlands for people to farm, and also there will be reduced conflict in terms of climate change-induced conflict in most of these communities.
The fight for justice must transcend borders. Transcontinental solidarity is the key. Together, we can hold these polluters accountable and ensure the communities receive the justice they deserve.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, which is a supreme organic law. The law under Chapter 4 recognizes the right to life, and in Section 20, it recognizes the fundamental right to clean and healthy environment. Regrettably, the oil companies have violated these provisions of the Constitution without any remedy accruing to the people. Beyond the provisions of the Constitution, we also have other acts of parliament and regulations. For instance, there is the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency Act, which people refer to as NESRI. Under that law, all oil companies are required to carry out periodic impact assessment of their activities in the impacted areas. The law is not that you only carry out environmental impact assessment when you are starting or commencing your operations. But any time a particular area is polluted, they are mandated under that law to also carry out such impact assessment. But they don't bother with that. And we also have the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. It has imposed obligations on the oil companies, particularly with respect to host communities. They are to set up host trusts to see to the development of host communities. But from experience, most of the trusts already set up, they are not even working, they are not effective. So we don't have a problem of aspects of laws. The problem we have really is that of implementation of these laws.
Is to shut down all the oil wells. One, that will save our environment. Two, people will think of alternative way of making money. Because oil production make our leaders to be lazy. They don't think, they just go to bed and sleep and wake up in the morning and the accounts of government have been credited. And because most of them will not visit Niger Delta till the end of their life, they don't know the mess the oil business is generating in the Niger Delta where the people live. So I think that the only policy I will bring out, because oil production also breeds corruption.
The window for holding polluters accountable is closing, but it hasn't shut completely. The fight is far from over, and the stakes couldn't be higher for the communities living in the shadow of oil extraction. This isn't just about justice, it's about survival.